In week 10 of the semester, we were given this case study as an activity in which we had to provide 2 arguments to this case study. I wholeheartedly believe that the 125 people who had solicited sex needed to be exposed by the media. They needed to have their names and addresses published in the newspaper, because that is the journalist's job, is to expose those facts, whether ugly or good, to the public. Now, in the journalist's code of ethics, yes, we have a code of ethics, the preamble states, members of the Society of Professional Journalists believe that public enlightenment is the forerunner of justice and the foundation of democracy. Ethical journalism strives to ensure the free exchange of information that is accurate, fair, and thorough. An ethical journalist acts with integrity. I don't think that it is coincidence that in the First Amendment of the Bill of Rights of the Constitution of the United States, the freedom of religion is in the same exact amendment as the freedom of speech and of press. I don't think that this is a coincidence, because it's really hard to have the freedom of religion without the freedom of speech or of press. As we can see in China, they have no freedom of speech. All of their media is extremely they can't go onto the internet without having a lot of prohibitors and all of those things. And they also really don't have a freedom of religion. So something that I also found interesting was these 113 journalists. They were surveyed by the New York Magazine, and the journalists, almost 86% of them, believed that the media's job is to tell readers what they ought to or need to know, regardless of their interest in the subject. Now, something else that this survey found with the journalists was that they couldn't expose every single fact because of the political agendas of the news sites. Now, what can we do as people? Something else that I found extremely interesting was found in this Stanford research. Now, it says that the top news sites, 48% of their traffic came from direct browsing and only 10% came from social media, whereas fake news sites, 30% of their traffic came from direct browsing, while almost 42% came from social media. Why is this interesting? Because in this Pew Research, it shows that 2/3 of U.S. adults get their news from social media. So that's kind of scary. That's saying 41% of traffic coming from fake news sites is on social media, whereas 2/3 of adults get their news from social media. 10% of top news sites get their traffic from social media. That means that there are a lot of people out there who are getting their news from fake news sites. Now, what can we do as American citizens in order to get our news from accurate, ethical journalists? When a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty, it is our right, it is our duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for the future security. What we need to do is we need to find that accurate information from accurate news sites by becoming more media literate.